All right, so welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Alin. I'm the administrator of the Digital Help Desk, and I'm also a small business owner myself on Manitoulin Island. So if you're not familiar with it yet, the Digital Help Desk is an initiative of the Northern Ontario Women Program, which is run by LAMBAC, the Laclush and Manitoulin Business Assistance Corporation. So the Help Desk provides resources and support for women-owned and women-led businesses in Northern Ontario. And it focuses in the areas of digital marketing, e-commerce, website management, and SEO. So today we're going to focus on the e-commerce portion of that. We just wanted to start off today by doing a quick demo of the Help Desk, just to show you how it works in case you're not familiar. So I have my screen shared here. You should be able to see it. To get to the Help Desk, you go to nowdigital.lambac.org. And then this is what the Help Desk looks like, the homepage. So there's a resource library, and you can see it's kind of organized into different categories. So if you don't have a specific question or thing that you're looking for, and you just want to browse some of the information that we have available, you can go into any of the categories and just look at the different articles that we have listed in there. So I'll just show you an example. So under e-commerce, there's kind of some tips and best practices, specifically about shipping, payment policies. There's a whole section specific to Shopify. So if that's something that you're thinking about or interested in, especially after today's workshop, you can go in and read some articles specifically about Shopify. And then you've got some social media kind of integrations with e-commerce. So you can just kind of browse, read different articles, see if there's anything that might be helpful for you. And then if you have something specific that you're looking for, some specific article that you were wanting to find, you can type in some search terms here and just search the whole site. And then you also have the option of connecting with an expert. So we have a team of experts in the different categories. And if you click on that, you can actually submit a question directly to an expert. They'll contact you. They'll get back to you within 3 days by email, 3 business days. And then they'll help you with your question. They can help you troubleshoot an issue that you've run into. So if you're working on setting up an e-commerce shop and you have questions about something specific, it can be Shopify or another platform that you're using. You can submit a question, and then one of our e-commerce experts, like Michael, will get back to you and can help you kind of walk through that. Okay, so you don't have to create an account to submit a ticket or to use the Help Desk. There is an option to create an account, but you don't have to do that. If you want to be able to go in and check on the status of tickets and things like that, you can do that. You can go and log in, but you don't have to use it. And then there is also a French version of the site. So if you're looking for articles in French, you can kind of toggle that and switch it into French as well. And if you're ever having any trouble with it and kind of needing some help navigating the site, there is an article here under how to use the Digital Help Desk. And it has just some screenshots to kind of walk you through what I just kind of went through with the different sections and how it works. So that's on there as well. All right. So yeah, hopefully you'll find that helpful. And we welcome any questions or feedback that you might have about the Help Desk. If you have specific things that you're looking for and not finding on there, you can always go to connect with an expert and just choose other as the category, and they'll come to me as the administrator if you're needing help navigating or if you have questions or anything. So feel free to do that as well. All right, so now we'll get started with the workshop on growing your business with Shopify. There'll be chances throughout the presentation for questions. So feel free to ask those as we go through. And then afterwards, we'll try and leave some time for Q&A as well, if you have anything that you're wondering about, or if you want to talk about your specific business and get some suggestions. So throughout the presentation, it's up to you whether you want to leave your camera on or not, but I'll ask that you keep your microphones muted unless you have a question that you're going to ask. Just to let you know, the workshop will be recorded and posted on the Help Desk site afterwards. So if you do have any questions that you aren't comfortable asking while it's being recorded, you can either message them to me in the Zoom chat. You can message them directly, and I can ask them anonymously for you, or you can always submit a ticket afterwards through the Help Desk, and then you can get one of the experts to contact you and kind of deal with it one-on-one afterwards. We will send an email out to everyone who participated in the workshop today. So you'll get the link with the recorded version and a written summary of the notes from today as well. All right, so I'll pass it over to Michael from Shopify. So Michael is one of the e-commerce experts for the Digital Help Desk who provides support with any of your e-commerce questions and troubleshooting.
Cool, thanks, Lynn. Yeah, so like Lynn said, let me just share my screen here quickly. I'm gonna do, I can share tabs. No, let me just do a screen here. So I'll do this, share this over. So hopefully you're seeing my presentation.
Yep, you're good.
Yes, perfect. So yeah, like Lynn said, my name is Michael Doe. I am one of the e-commerce experts for the Now Digital Help Desk, and I also happen to be a solutions engineer at Shopify. So I'm very well versed in the platform, what it can and can't do, and how a lot of our merchants may be using it. This is kind of the agenda I had for the workshop today. So just drilling down into how typically merchants or customers design their sites when they want to extend the capability of Shopify, do more than what's available in the core product, how that happens, looking at some marketing and promotions and how that is handled in Shopify and ways to maybe optimize that, and to collect payment in Shopify and specifically talk about Shop Pay, which is kind of like our Apple Pay equivalent to help speed up the checkout process for customers. But we're a smaller group today. We don't have that many people. I wanted to ask before I started, like, how many of everybody on the call today is actually using Shopify currently as their kind of website or e-commerce channel? I think Deborah mentioned you're not, but any others on the call using Shopify today? Okay, so it looks like
You got one that looks like.
Just trying to catch up the chat. So Jen's not, Deborah's not. Okay, she uses WordPress. I think Sylvie gave the hand clap, so that's one. Nice. Okay. And then Tanya is not. Okay. So I think with a majority of people not using it, this will be more of an introduction to what Shopify can do for you. And I'll try to, gear the presentation or the deck to that. And then for Sylvie, hopefully you'll get some cool tidbits on how to extend what you're doing, or maybe you'll learn about things that you didn't know before. All right. Just to clarify what Shopify is too. Shopify is not a marketplace like an Amazon or an eBay, where as a brand, you're going to put your products on the Amazon branded site and have your products sold amongst other brands and other products. What Shopify is a platform to allow you to create your own website, essentially. So Lynn, who is the owner of the Island Jar on Manitoulin Island, she would use Shopify to create the Island Jar website to only sell Island Jar products, not list her products on like an Amazon or an Etsy or a Walmart or an eBay. Okay, so that's a clear distinction. We give you the tool set to create your own experience, create your own store, and not have to compete with others on like an Amazon. But I thought this slide was cool to show off, and this is from 2019, and what it depicts is how many e-commerce transactions are happening within different platforms. So obviously Amazon's killing it, right? I think about almost 39% of transactions online happen on Amazon. But right after that, even above eBay, Walmart, Apple, if you combine all of the Shopify shops together, we're second in terms of online transactions, just above eBay. So there's a lot of merchants, a lot of merchants using the Shopify platform, and a lot of customers buying from merchants who are using Shopify. Okay.
Just before you move on, there's a question just asking if
Yeah.
someone would want to use Shopify in addition to their website, or if you would maybe want to replace your website with Shopify if you have an existing one.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what content you're presenting on your website, right? If it's just simply information about your business, Shopify will give you the tool set to create, content pages where you can talk about your business, outline your, hours of operation or whatever that is, in addition to giving you that e-commerce capability. So you may want to consider that to do that if you're taking reservations on your website, for instance, that don't rely on like payment for that, then maybe you want to consider using your current website to keep taking those reservations and then using Shopify for your online kind of purchase transactions. Okay, I hope that helped answer that question. So really it depends what you're doing with your normal website. So for those of you who aren't on Shopify right now, and maybe you like what you see today, Shopify does offer a 14-day free trial. So the link I will include in maybe the notes on the help desk, so you can access it there. But it's super easy to set up. Like I'm doing these setups, as part of my job daily, and it takes me about 10 to 15 minutes to set up a shop and play around. So feel free to do that. You get access to all of the things I will showcase today. So I would highly encourage you to just try the trial out if you haven't done so already, if you're not on Shopify currently. Okay, and guys, feel free, like I said, or Lynn said, feel free to interrupt me with questions as we go along. So when you fire up a Shopify site, the first thing I think most people focus on is how their site looks, right? You want to represent your brand properly to your customers. You want your site to represent what your company is, what your company is about. And on Shopify, that's all about themes. And what a theme is really the template for the look and feel of your site. And to show off what I mean by that, I'm just going to jump out of this presentation and go to what we call Shopify's theme store. So when you set up on Shopify, there will be a theme there by default that you can edit, but there is also a whole site dedicated to different styles and different themes for your store if you wanted. So you can go in here and pick a style that most closely resembles or represents what your brand does, right? What you want it to look like. Okay. So you'll see, I think there's about 80 plus themes here. If I scroll up, I can go to all themes. There's a bunch of free ones available as well. Okay. And then within each theme, there are also different styles. All right, so you'll see for this narrative one, there's a warm or earthy style, which changes slightly. Light, which has a creepy looking dude here. And then a cold theme. And really a theme again is it'll give you certain functionality within your site, but the layout is set in a certain way to kind of highlight your products or highlight what you're selling in a way that you kind of want it to look, okay? But the cool thing about Shopify is once you select a theme, you're not necessarily locked in to how that looks and what the style looks like, because within Shopify, and I'm just going to navigate to that really quickly. You have the ability to make edits to your theme. So if I hit customize here, right, what this will pull up is an online theme editor to allow you to make changes to your site. So let's say I downloaded this theme or added this theme and I don't love the image that's included in this banner. I can go in there, select that section and make changes, right? Upload a separate image, maybe change the copy in that section here, or the text in that section, right? I can go, if I scroll down a little bit more, you'll see I have a section for my featured collections, which is like the products or category that you want to highlight on your homepage for certain products. I could go in and change the collections in there. I can even move that section around. So Shopify gives you a really, really clean, intuitive interface or editor to make these changes, so you guys truly have control of what your site looks like and feels like and how you're representing your business and your products to customers. Okay. For Sylvie, who is on Shopify right now, do you have any questions about the theme editor and how it works? I wanted to pause here to give you a chance to maybe drop in and see if you have any questions. Or anybody else for that matter, who may have questions, who may be using a separate web product or e-commerce product that's able to do things within that system when it comes to the look and feel of their site that has questions about how it's done in Shopify.
I don't really have any questions about the theme specifically. I think I've kind of figured that piece out. I think I use the same one as here. That seems to be maybe the Brooklyn theme.
Yep.
Is there, like, in terms of going into like your paid themes, what is the kind of different, do you find like you get better, I don't know, results or anything like that?
No, I think the difference between the paid themes and the free ones, so the free ones are created by Shopify, right? And most of the paid ones are created by partners of Shopify who've developed the style, who've coded it themselves and offering up in the store. The benefit of some of those themes is that you may get functionality that may not be available in the free ones. So I don't know if this has it, but sometimes on some sites where you hover over this, a bigger menu drops down that shows a list of categories and maybe some images or content in there. We call that a mega menu. Some themes will have a mega menu option, whereas other themes don't, right? Some themes may have advanced search functionality where they pull in, like if I type in Luca here, right? So this one has it. This theme has like the predictive search that it'll fill in or display products based on what somebody's typing in as they go. Some themes may not have that. So there are some functional differences depending on the theme that you choose. So you just got to figure out what your priorities are, where you think your current theme may be lacking when it comes to helping customers find products of yours, or the layout of the site, and maybe a paid theme would give you those options.
Yeah, I think with my Shopify store, like it seems like the landing page, the homepage has a really nice design, but once I start moving away from the landing page, like I have a blog and I really don't like the look of the blog. Like there's not a lot of options in terms of design for that, and even like the about me page are not a huge, like it's like once you come out of the homepage, you don't really get a lot in terms for design.
Yeah, so keep an eye, and this is a new change for Shopify too, and I'll go to the theme store just to highlight what this is. So there's been a recent change and you'll see some themes have this OS 2.0 label, and the OS stands for Online Store 2.0. So we've made improvements in terms of the usability of the editor. We give you more access to sections everywhere. So you talked about the homepage having a lot of flexibility, and other pages maybe not, because you couldn't add or move around certain sections. On themes with this OS 2.0 label, you can now do that. You can create sections, you can move sections on every single page. So I would just take a peek at those, and hopefully that helps give you kind of better designs for those secondary or third level pages.
Okay, just one more question if I can, Michael. So let's say I want to switch my theme, like how easy it is for me to do that. So I find one that's OS 2.0 and now I want to switch it. Is everything going to kind of move over, or?
Yeah, very good question. So on any Shopify property or account, you're actually able to save up to 20 themes in your store. So you'll see here, Pipeline is the theme that I have active, which is the one we're seeing. But then if I scroll down below in my theme library, I have a bunch of other ones saved. So when you save a new theme, it doesn't go live right away. Or when you download a new theme or select a new theme, it doesn't go live right away. You're able to make those customizations in that new theme, make sure it looks and feels the way you want it to look. And then from here, you can publish it and make it live. But to answer the second part of your question, the components that are part of the page, so maybe your products or your collections or your blog posts, those will be automatically carried over to a new theme. You don't need to recreate them. It's simply the look, the style of the theme that would change.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's the section really quickly on themes. Hopefully you guys get a sense of the flexibility that Shopify allows for when controlling the design and the look of your store. All right. The next kind of piece I want to talk about is the extensibility of Shopify. So what we like to say at Shopify is that we make the important stuff easy, right? And the important stuff is creating products, managing customers, managing orders, managing fulfillment. We'll make that easy, and that's part of our core product. But then we also want to make the other stuff, right? Maybe the extra 20% possible. And the way we make that possible is by creating a platform. So the comparison I like to make is if you think of an iPhone, for example, Apple really, really focuses on making a really, really good phone, right? A really good iPhone where hopefully in most cases, depending on where you are, you can make a phone call out to somebody, you can text somebody, and you can communicate with the core phone features. And then it's built a platform that allows other developers, other businesses to create these apps that you can download on your phone and use on your phone. So Instagram or Facebook is a perfect example of an app that Apple has allowed other people to create and have on their device on the iPhone, right? So we've done the same thing at Shopify with the App Store, where we've opened up to other businesses to create these apps. And it gives you extensibility or extends the functionality of your Shopify store. And here are some popular ones that I've seen for small to medium businesses that I thought would be appropriate to call out. So the first one is Smile, which is a loyalty program app. So as you know, your customers buy from you, maybe award them points. And you know, as they collect points, maybe they can spend those, earn certain things, or spend those on other products. And this is a way to obviously attract new customers. I think we've seen with loyalty that I think what's 84% of customers are more likely to stick around with that business or that brand if a loyalty program is offered. Okay, so Smile is a good option there if you want to jot that down. Another one is Loyalty Lion. Okay, and really quickly, I'll show you guys. Whoops, just want to get out of this. How the App Store works. So the URL here is apps.shopify.com, right? Where this is our universe. So it's kind of like the Apple App Store, right? Where all of the apps are available. You go here, you type in Smile, for instance. The result will appear for you. You click on the one that seems most attractive to you. So in this case, it's this Smile one that I want. And all you need to do is click Add App, and that, you know, connects this app, so this loyalty program in this case, to your existing Shopify store. So it's really, really easy to add them. The only thing I will call out is because, you know, these are real businesses who have developed these apps, right? There may be an associated fee to use that app. In most cases, there are, because they're their businesses looking to make money, right? And that's the world we live in. So that's another consideration maybe when selecting, if you decide that a loyalty program is important to you, you first obviously want to look at the functionality. There's a good ratings review system here to showcase, you know, how many others who use the app like it, and then the cost of it would be another consideration for you. All right. And going back here, Bold is another, or Bold subscription. So, you know, what we saw at Shopify during COVID and the pandemic is that, you know, stores shut down, especially grocery stores and food stores, and those kind of food brands or consumer packaged goods brands weren't necessarily getting their products out to customers at the rate that they were used to. So they jumped online. They created these new online channels to sell directly to us versus selling through the grocery store to us as consumers. And because food and consumer packaged goods are a recurring purchase that you make all the time, subscription models became very, very popular, right? Allowing those brands to not only, so this is another option that I've seen very popular for merchants these days. Obviously, email is one. So core to the platform, you can add Shopify email as an app that will enable you to send out emails for your business. And we'll showcase that in a little bit. reviews is a big one. So Yotpo is a popular reviews app. And obviously, I mean, I think most of us these days will shop based on either, word of mouth, which is still a review, or checking out even on the App Store here, you'll see there's reviews here. And you're building that social trust with your customers by allowing for reviews on your site. So that is another popular app. And then for the folks on the call who may be a service business, right, where you schedule appointments, Book That app is a great, again, extension to the core Shopify functionality that allow your customers to select dates and book a time for either appointments, classes, workshops, whatever it may be doing. Okay. So from here, what I did want to jump into is just kind of showcase a little bit more how some of these apps may work, right? And I wanted to showcase Smile to do that. So this is actually the my test store and the customer experience side of my test store. And you'll see that because I downloaded the Smile app, this little button appears on my store for rewards. Right? If I click on that, you'll see that it pops up and it shows me how many points I've collected because I've shopped at this shop, right? And if I click into ways to earn, you'll see that the rules around earning here is that for every dollar I spend, I'm going to earn 5 points as part of this loyalty program. So it could be a program as simple as this to reward your customers. And if I click into ways to redeem, again, the single rule here, and again, you can have multiple, but for simplicity's sake, I've set up one rule where for every 100 points that I earn, I can convert that to $1 to spend on this store, right? So again, you're rewarding your customers for the recurring purchases with you, and Smile makes it really, really easy for you to add a loyalty program to your site. And then if we look on the back end, so this is where you'd set up the program. Again, very simple, where you can click in here and view the options to have your customers earn points. So in this case, yes, I'm using the place an order, they get rewards. But maybe you want to reward them on their birthday to show that you care about them and you're thinking about them, right? Maybe you want to earn points. Let me get rid of this here. Or provide points for a sign up to your newsletter, for instance. Okay, so there's a lot of ways you can allow your customers to earn points and build that relationship with your customers. And then when it comes to redeeming points, there are multiple ways there. So in this case, I've yet used the discount amount, but you can provide them a percentage off, maybe free shipping, maybe a gift as a free product. And again, lots of options when it comes to you guys deciding how you want to make your program work. All right. So I'll take a pause there. Any questions about how you would maybe add a loyalty program to your current shop, or if you're thinking about adding a loyalty program? Okay, I'll take silence as a no, and then I'll move on. Okay. So then now we're coming into talking about kind of the promotions and how you'd run promotions on Shopify. And I think these days, when we think about promoting, we think of social channels, right? So Facebook, Instagram, Google, TikTok these days, if you're bold and you have a lot of time to create videos. And natively to Shopify, we actually allow you to connect your shop to your Facebook account or to your Google account or to your TikTok account. And what that means is, one, your products will be available in those accounts for you to create posts or showcase them in an ad. But additionally, you can create shoppable posts as well. So if you guys may have seen this yourselves on an Instagram post where if you click into it, this product will be highlighted. It'll show you the title of that product, maybe the price of that product. And if you click through, you'll be taken to the product page itself on the store. So Shopify has always been the first to integrate kind of shopping within these social media platforms. And not only that, of course, the ability to create ads directly in there as well, or campaigns. So what that looks like in Shopify, if I go to the marketing section and click in campaigns, you'll see that directly within the back end, you can create new campaigns and connect them to your existing Facebook page or Facebook account to build an ad. You can do a Facebook post from here, leveraging some of your products you've set up on Shopify, or simply create an email campaign. And email is still one of the cheapest in terms of return on investment ways to promote. Still has a very high conversion rate, even compared to all these social channels. So email is certainly still a way to go if you don't do much email these days for your program. And within Shopify, how email pricing works, that every month you can send out 2,500 emails for free. And then after that, it's $1 for every additional 1,000 emails. So again, from a pricing standpoint, blows maybe Google Ads or Facebook or whatever out of the water from a cost perspective. All right. And what that looks like within Shopify, and I'm just going to click into one that I've already created. It's an interface. Once it allows me to, let me refresh this page here. Oops. View campaign. Edit activity. There we go. So it's an interface or a page very similar to our theme editor earlier on, right? Where you can go in here, you can add who you want to send the email to, provide a subject line, of course, a little preview text as to what the receiver will be seeing within the email. All right. And then you can click in different sections here and make changes. So maybe if I wanted to change how this header looked, I want to put a different logo or change the colors, I can do that here. Maybe the heading for the email I want to change, either the font or the color, right? I can do that. So you'll see a lot of flexibility to make the email kind of say what you want to say, look what you want it, the way you want it to look, but also pull in product information directly into the body without you having to manually add the product image or add the product title, right? All these kind of objects, we like to call them, that are saved in Shopify will be automatically pulled into a Shopify email template. So you're not doing double bound of work as you would be maybe if you're emailing outside of like a, using a MailChimp or somebody else. Okay. Another pause there. Any questions about emailing in Shopify or the things that you're doing right now that you'd be curious about to see if it's available within Shopify email? Okay, I'll take that as a no as well, and I'll keep going. And then, you're going to run these campaigns. You're likely going to maybe create some sort of promotion or discount for customers. How that looks like within Shopify is a section here under discounts, and you can create discounts tied to codes or discounts tied to just automatic ones that are applied right away without the customer having to do anything. If I create a new discount, I can kind of quickly show everybody what functionality is available in Shopify to create discounts. So you'll see here, you can select what type of discount you want to provide. Is it a percentage off? Is it like a certain amount off? So just $5 off your order? Are you going to give free shipping? Or maybe you want to give a gift, right? So if you buy this hat, you'll get a free t-shirt with it. So once you select those types, you can actually scroll down and select which products are applicable. So maybe you only want the discount to be applied to your, I don't know, flowers collection or category, or you only want it to be applied to, flowers and plants only, but not vases if you're a flower shop, right? So you can actually select which specific products you want that to be applied to, and then specific customers. And where this comes into play is maybe you have customers who shopped with you a year ago and hasn't shopped with you since, and you want to bring them back. So you want to create a promotion that is only dedicated towards those kind of returning customers. Or on the flip side, maybe you want to reward your VIP customers. So people who've spent maybe a large amount of money with you in the past year, you want to use it as a thank you to reward them. So you can kind of select of those specific customers and have them only eligible for this discount, right? Then of course you can kind of set the active date, when that discount starts or when that promotion starts and when it ends. Okay, so a lot of control, kind of hopefully a set it and forget it type functionality as well for our merchants. Okay. Any questions here about discounting? Any questions about specific types of discounts you may have run in the past or you're considering doing in the future that you're curious about? Okay, then we'll move on to the last, and this is just a slide on discounts that we talked to. The last section on payments. So within Shopify, I think if you picture the standard checkout is where you reach the checkout, you got to put in your shipping information and you type that in yourself. You got to type in your billing information, your billing address, and then your credit card number. So that's like 3 or 4 steps during checkout that you need to do on a traditional kind of shopping checkout site. On Shopify, we have a product called Shop Pay. And if those on the phone, folks on the phone who are familiar with maybe Apple Pay or Google Pay, Shop Pay is our own version of that kind of faster mobile checkout. So if you guys, for Sylvie, if you're not using Shopify Payments or Shop Pay right now, this may be something to consider. For others, this is a huge converting tool. So when I say converting, I mean people coming to the site and actually buying and paying that we've seen on Shopify, because it's just, it's 4 times faster than traditional checkout. You'll see here that people are almost 2 times more likely to actually buy something if Shop Pay is enabled or is available on the site. And we've actually seen that compared to other fast checkout methods, so compared to Apple Pay or Google Pay or Amazon Pay even, Shop Pay converts 11% higher than those other methods. So, we've seen a lot of people adopt this. In fact, I think there's more than 100 million people around the world now who've registered and use Shop Pay. So super, easy way to push conversions if you're not using Shop Pay right now with Shopify. All right. And again, how that looks in the back end is really, really simple. If I go to the payment section, I'll leave this page. Okay. It's just taking a while to load. And if I'm using Shopify Payments, so this is a requirement. If you're not using, if you're using maybe Braintree or Authorize.net or Moneris, those are some names you may have heard in terms of a payment processor or a payment gateway. Shop Pay won't be available for those. You have to use Shopify's version of that payment gateway, which we call Shopify Payments. But if you are, it's simply a matter of clicks to enable Shop Pay. So you're literally turning it on or off. And then you can go in and turn on Apple Pay or Google Pay as well as other payment methods. All right. And then you'll see here that Facebook Pay, which I don't think is that popular, is also available as well. Okay. So again, this is a way, if you're not using it, I would highly recommend looking at Shop Pay just because of the conversion numbers that we see with it. All right. And that's about it for the presentation. I'm hoping I didn't go too fast. For those of you who are new to Shopify, I know that may have been going into the weeds and getting a little deeper a little bit, but hopefully you've been able to see some of the functionality that's available to maybe help you push your sales online, help you kind of make sure you represent your brand properly on your website and the flexibility around styles. And then also, if you're looking at other ways to reach your customers when it comes to maybe email or loyalty programs or a booking engine, you've seen how that works on Shopify as well. And with that, I'll open it up to questions.
So we had one question in the chat. So someone has Square connected to their current website and they were asking, do you need to have a Shopify site to use Shop Pay, or can you enable Shop Pay on a different website?
You do. because it is a Shopify specific product, you do need to be using Shopify to enable Shop Pay. The caveat there is that, and this is in the US, I'm hoping it comes to Canada eventually, Shop Pay, if you're selling on Facebook or Instagram and you're not a Shopify customer, you can actually leverage Shop Pay in those platforms. Again, that's only US only right now, but I'm thinking very soon that'll come and be available to Canadian merchants in the near future.
All right, maybe just to get an idea from other people who are on the call, is anyone currently using like other platforms to do e-commerce, or are you kind of looking at Shopify as a potential to start selling online? Like, is anyone using other websites currently for an online shop? You know, we had I think Deborah had said she was using Squarespace, but yeah, I was just curious what other people were using.
Yeah, Deborah's using Square on a WordPress site. I mean, I guess Jen and Tanya, do you guys have an e-commerce, like an online shopping property right now, or is this more of like discovery on how it could work if you were to fire one up? Gotcha. So you don't sell anything right now. Okay. So, yeah, so hopefully that was a good introduction as to what it could look like if you were to use, like if you were to open up an online sales channel. So yes, there are fees with Shopify. I will send the link, Shopify pricing. I'm just Googling the page right now and I'll send that through as a link here. So there are different levels and different plans on Shopify. So let me stick that in the chat. So depending on, I mean, everything you saw in this is available in the basic Shopify plan, which is $29 a month, right, for the platform itself. There will be, in addition to that platform fee, a transaction fee. So for every sale that comes through, Shopify will take a percentage of that sale. It depends on the plan that you're on, whether it's basic, regular Shopify, or advanced Shopify, as to what that percentage is. And also whether or not you use Shopify Payments as the payment processor or another product outside of Shopify, right? So there's, again, I'll recap, there are two parts of that fee: the platform fee itself, which is, for basic $29 a month, and then a percentage of sale. And that number fluctuates depending on what plan you're on and who you're using as your payment processor. But it's anywhere between like 2 to 3%, I believe. Don't quote me on that though. Take a look at the page.
Does anyone else have any questions on getting started with Shopify, or any of the specific things like email or loyalty, discounts, anything like that that Michael went through today? Or just like issues that you've come across while trying to create an e-commerce shop?
And if you don't have any oh, there you go, nice.
Maybe if I could ask a question. So sorry, I got pulled into something else, and you may have mentioned this. So right now I'm just using the website. Basically, I do drop shipping and print on demand. And I'm just wondering, like, let's say I wanted to do like in-person sales. Let's say I was at a festival or a market or something like that to sell products. I used to use the Square Up and that kind of POS system. I'm wondering, does Shopify have something like that?
Yeah, so Shopify does have its own POS product that will be directly integrated to your Shopify store. It's called Shopify POS, in fact. Yeah. So if you Google that, and that's how the product started actually. So now it's in a lot of big retail stores, right? Like if you think about Allbirds and I don't know, some of those big brands that I can't think of right now, they all use our POS in the store, but it started as a product for pop-ups, just like you're talking about right now. So Google that to take a peek at it would be an additional cost to your plan, but in the very least, it'll be integrated. So your inventory counts. You don't need to worry about managing two separate counts, right? You can just pull from the same bucket of products essentially. your money will go to the same place instead of managing two separate accounts and fees that way. Yeah, so short answer is yes, there is the POS product Shopify.
Okay, I have another question, and I'm not sure if this falls in line with kind of your scope. So I'm doing drop shipping through Oberlo. So I run a service-based business, stand-up paddleboard, and then I started a drop ship shop to sell accessories and paddleboards as well. There's been a lot of kind of lessons learned this summer, and maybe some growing pains. But is Oberlo the best kind of option? And it seems like I can only kind of link with AliExpress. Have you seen any other kind of drop shipping apps or anything like that through Shopify?
So I would say the reason why I want to say yes right away that Oberlo is a great option is because we now own them, right? They were a standalone company. Shopify purchased them. So there would be some obviously benefits to that, right? It's the same team now. If you kind of leave, and maybe this is a good way to use the help desk, create a ticket, outline the headaches you're experiencing right now with Oberlo, and I will take that and do some digging to see if there are other recommendations I can put forward, right? It's hard to put one until I know kind of what those pain points are and if those other partners will kind of take care of those. So if you want to just send a ticket in, I can kind of tackle it. How do I send that ticket, sorry?
I'll put a link in the chat for you so that you can send it in.
Through the...
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat right now for you. It's just through the help desk website. And then if you just put your question in, it'll ask you for a little bit of business information, and then you can submit that.
Yeah. And Deborah, to answer your question, what Oberlo is, I mean, technically, yes, a shipping company, but it's more of a partnership where you actually don't need to own any inventory, right? So you're not housing it, you're not storing it in your own warehouse. They have relationships with those product suppliers, and you simply sell those on your site, and the order gets routed to them to ship out. So that's what Oberlo is. It's not like whereas like a Canada Post or a UPS, or those would be true shipping companies. Oberlo is what we call like a drop shipper relationship for your store. Yeah, I think you can take a peek. We can send a link here. Where did this chat go? So I'll leave that in here. You can check out what vendors and suppliers they have. T-shirts are certainly something that's on there. And I believe they'll showcase pricing and all that stuff as well if you join that network.
There was a question about Shopify Plus specifically too, when people are looking at the different plans available.
Yeah, so Plus is more geared towards kind of the bigger enterprise brands. So people are doing like tens of millions of dollars of sales a year. There's just greater functionality that is more catered to maybe automation or some things that would be more relevant to the bigger brands. APIs, which for small businesses like us on the phone here may not be so relevant, but these bigger brands want to connect separate systems to Shopify. So if they have their own kind of product management system, they want to connect that to Shopify. Or on the other end, where their orders need to be shipped out of the warehouse and they have their own warehouse system, they need to connect that to Shopify. So that's where Plus comes into play, and that's where Plus is strong. I don't think it's necessarily a product that's relevant for the folks on this call today. Unless you're doing hundreds of $1 million a year, then awesome.
All right. Does anyone else have any questions about starting a shop, working with your, or like switching over to Shopify or anything like that you can think of? No. If you do think of anything afterwards, I just put the link in the chat for how you can submit a ticket through the help desk. So if you do think of something afterwards, just generic about Shopify or specific to your business and e-commerce, feel free to go to that link. And then when you when you type your question, and it'll ask you for the, I think it's, the topic. So if you choose e-commerce as the topic, then you'll get routed to our team of e-commerce experts, and then Michael can help out with that as well. There's just one more question in the chat.
Yeah. So Deborah, if you're using your WordPress site for informational purposes only, I think it could be redundant to have both, right? Because you can present that information just on your Shopify site. So, I mean, a good example is, let me get out of here.
I think she's meaning to offer sales on both, like to have two separate online shops.
Oh, I see. I don't think that'd be beneficial to your brand, because then you're driving people to do two separate properties. If you're promoting, you're spending ad dollars, you're spending dollars on two separate properties. I would just stick to one. No, we use our website for both information and sales. Yeah, I would still think stick to one. If you can, always streamline, stick to one site, because then you're not only from an operational standpoint, you're making updates in two locations, all that stuff, but like I said, from a promotional and advertising standpoint, then you're spending money on driving traffic to do two separate properties. I would stick to one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be a lot of time put in to try and manage both and fulfill orders from both, and all of that, I think. All right. So yeah, if anyone does think of anything afterwards, feel free to use the help desk. I put the link there if you need it. If there's like troubleshooting or specific questions to your business, or you just want help getting started with building your e-commerce shop, feel free to use that. That's what we're here for. All right. So yeah, thank you so much, Michael. That was really helpful. I think that gave people hopefully a good understanding of where to get started, at least with Shopify. All right.
Yeah, no problem. I hope it did help.
Okay, thanks everyone. Have a good afternoon.
Have a good rest of the day. Bye.
Bye.